Looks like I was frozen for a minute. Good morning, St. John Valley. This is Wake Up SJV. Today's featured artist is Boomerang. We have found some footage here from 2011. Looks like this is at the Fort Kent Lions Pavilion during the Fort Kent Biathlon. Some broken footage, but let's take a look. Dan Chassie, the lead singer. Camera shaking there a lot. That is Boomerang. Today is Thursday, May 21st. Looks like it's going to just be another beautiful day weather-wise. We'll check that here in a second. Today's guest coming on at 7:30 is Larry Murphy, retired. And I'm sure he's happy about that. Retired, teacher, principal, coach at both, administrator at both UMFK and Fort Kent Community High School, a Caribou native, an outdoorsman, avid outdoorsman, and thank goodness a New York Giants fan like myself. But we'll talk about everything we possibly could. His better half, we're trying to convince her to join us. Miss Irene Murphy, who still works here for the District 27 in the educational system, a semi-retired teacher of science, and just a great family in this area. One of his grandsons, Cole. What's up, Cole? I'm sure you're not up. One of his grandsons, Cole, is graduating here on June 12th. So we'll talk about that. Has a daughter here in town running at one of the best daycares anybody's ever seen. Erica and Trisha over there here on Market Street doing a great job. And his son, Ben, who's a big time sports fan, is down there at Sakapee Valley. I believe they won the state championships in track and field. Was that last spring? I think so. On the boys' side, I think. So Boomerang is today's featured artist. When I Googled just Boomerang, I couldn't find anything except the actual boomerangs. I don't need one of those. But I put in Dan Chassie, and I got some hits from 2011. So we'll play another tune here off Boomerang's 2011 performance. The week is flying by. We've had some great guests this week. It's really been awesome. Rennie Kluge was in yesterday for about a half hour. Shared some great insight. We had Aroostook County Teacher of the Year, Miss Jocelyn Saucier, on Monday. Tuesday was Scott Pelletier. I mean, we're rolling. I'm kind of hedging here. I'm kind of waiting. We're hoping that we can get a Northern Maine Medical Center employee of some sort tomorrow. If not, you might be stuck with me all day. That's scary. I'm going to go ahead and look up the Facebook page here on my smartphone. A reminder to clean your phones. I'm sure you are, and your laptops in this COVID madness. While I'm trying to pull that up, I'm going to share the weather with you. Whether you like it or not, folks. I want to give a shout out to my good friend, James Harvey. Said he was going to check out the show this morning. He goes over there to Northern Maine Medical Center every Thursday for some little routine work. A great man, a great friend. How you doing, Harv? He's got some new wheels too. Kind of jealous. Okay, screen share. An avid sports fan as well. We're going to get him on the show. So, yesterday, you kidding me? I mean, I went for a walk the last 2 evenings here with my wolf, Nook, around 7 o'clock and left here, Market Street, went into town. It's just beautiful. You get that nice sunset as it goes down behind the hills and the rivers. The river here. Might even get the hook in the water today, do a little fishing. Anyway, let's take a look. 72 and fair. Oh, hold on. I might have to refresh this. Is this accurate? Every time I refresh, I lose you, folks. I think we're good. Oh, no, there's Thursday. Give me a second. Hope you're all doing well. Boom. I mean, I think yesterday's high, it had to have hit the set. I do, as I walked into town and went past the clock at the bank there on the corner, it read 71, and that was, like I said, that was approaching the 8 p.m. hour. Right now, we do have a red flag warning, and don't know exactly what that is. So let's click on that. That's something to be concerned. Oh, okay. This is concerning because the campgrounds in the outdoors and in the fires. I mean, I had one going yesterday, made some s'mores with my daughters, and you got to be careful, folks. So there's a fire weather message here out of Caribou. Red flag warning in effect from 9 a.m. this morning to 7 p.m. You know, when that wind picks up and it gets hot, there is concern there, rightfully so. So you got to be really careful with any type of burning campfires. So that is out there. Northwest Aroostook, northeast Aroostook, that would apply to us. Because the winds, that wind is coming back, looks like west 10 to 20 mile per hour with gusts up to 35. Jeez Louise, if anybody's got a sailboat they want me to try out, or as I said, a windsurfer in honor of my dad, he used to be quite the windsurfer, let me know. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm all over the place as usual. My first of the morning, go back and then go up. So the red flag warning, so be careful with that. But look at this, high near 81. And what I really, if you are getting an early jump on camping, maybe you're in a pop-up or a tent, or maybe you're just like Mr. Coletta, our principal here in Fort Kent, you're sleeping under the stars. It's 54 tonight. For a low. So, I mean, tonight would be the night. Maybe see some stars. I don't know if it'll be, it says mostly clear. That's the time to do it. But as I did say, the gusts, those gusts, 31. So I like to go down here to the chart. You guys still with me? I like to go down to this chart here. And I can get an hour by hour look. And you see here where my finger is. From roughly 10 a.m. To 9 p.m., we're gonna be gusting in the 30s. So hey, get those trash cans secured, throw a brick on them, do what you got to do to be safe with that stuff. You certainly don't want that stuff going all over the place. There I am. And his son Ben camping me. And a shout out to Erica Murphy. No, thank you, Erica, for everything you do here for the community. She is watching for obvious reasons. Her dad and mom and dad will be on momentarily. We hope her mom, I don't know if she's going to be joining us, but we shall see. So there's your weather. Just looks great. The rest of the week end Friday 71. Look at Saturday, mostly sunny 62. And then Sunday, we're going to cap the week. Well, you know what? Most of you hopefully have some, if not all, of Memorial Day off. And we're at 79 in sun on Monday. Hey, I'm looking for some. I consider myself a rookie with a lot of this outdoor stuff. So I'm looking for some good fishing spots. If you guys have some recommendations, I heard the Wallagrass Stream down off Route 11 is a hot spot, if you will. But if you know of any good fishing spots and you're on the Facebook chat here, go to Facebook, go to channel 4 and plug in Wake Up SJV, or it may pop up right away as live. And you can put some comments there. We have Larry Murphy, legendary Larry Murphy, coming up about 18 minutes from now. And he's going to give us all kinds of insight. A man that, well, I'll save that story for when he comes on, but I might forget. So I'll tell you folks, he hired me out of the shower for my first soccer coaching job. Yep, out of the shower over there at the B&M Apartments. Third story, I got a knock on the door, and it's Coach Murph. Eric, what are you doing at 3 o'clock today? Well, I don't know, Murph. What's going on? Meet me at the soccer field. You're coaching the soccer team. All right, Murph. Now, I'm a basketball guy, but I quickly, thanks to him, was able to pick up a few things on the soccer pitch. So anyway, that's just a quick story. I was hired in the shower. Let's take a look at the headlines brought to you by me and the Bangor Daily News. That, you know, it's nice. I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but I'm pretty sure that's free because I'm able to put in Bangor Daily News and get that for free at this point. At some point, we'll have to pay for everything. Before we look at those headlines, a quick couple reminders. June 5th is the last student day for remote learning, Valley Unified wide. Graduation here in the district for Murph's grandson and Erica's son, Cole, will be June 12th. That'll be on the soccer. It should be awesome. I don't even want to say should. I mean, I don't want to make guarantees, but it's definitely going to be memorable. 57 seniors here at Fort Kent Community High School for the class of 2020 will be spread out 10 feet, 2 vehicles for each senior, and the senior will be sitting in front of those vehicles facing, I believe, the booth on the soccer field. But Mr. Doucette last Friday was able to give us some details, and we're going to probably pull someone in here as we approach that date for more details. But we're really looking forward to it. Miss Saucier had mentioned, senior class advisor who joined us Monday, that there'd be a fireworks show after that and a little parade through town. So I'm looking forward to that. And just a great class of 2020. Also, June 5th will be 8th grade promotion. I know there's some parents out there of some awesome 8th graders who are making that step to high school as freshmen next year. And talk about memorable. I mean, that's going to be a different look, no doubt. In the fall, we just don't know how it's going to look exactly. We have some great ideas, but that will be via Zoom on June 5th. So more details forthcoming on that. What are we going to do with prom? Can we save prom? Boys out there, high school boys, do you care? I mean, you got to put some effort. You want to date What could we do? You know what I thought would be cool? Maybe it's just because I need a date. You know what I thought would be cool would be, do some sort of parade, because we always have the entrance. The entrance to the LPT is pretty cool. The crowds are huge. We can't do that anymore. But some sort of parade with your date, and then do a drive-up movie. I think we could put some sort of movie onto a screen somewhere, whether it be the soccer field or the side of the gym. Anyway, just a thought. I don't want to step on any toes. I know Andrea Daigle is heading up that prom committee. I don't know where they're at. They might be at a standstill. I've seen some done through Zoom. I know John Krasinski on Some Good News, SGN. Real good show if you haven't watched that. It's about a 20-minute block on the line. Just go to YouTube. But he did a virtual Zoom prom, and he brought in celebrities. Now, he's well connected. I'm not. But he did bring in some celebs for that. I think the Jonas Brothers sang at the prom. I mean, come on. How are we going to compete with that? If you go to SAD27.org, or most likely if you're outside of the district here in the Valley, you can pick up really, it's just a great piece of work and a great plan for all of us as educators to follow. It's the integration plan. We went over it yesterday here on Wake Up SJV. The 4 R's are in place. This spans from June 1st, but pretty much now until October 5th and beyond. And there's phases that we're going to follow and work ourselves back into some sort of normal. Here in the state, the COVID-19 madness continues. Reading the Bangor Daily this morning, the biggest spike in cases was yesterday, but they've also tripled tests. And they've opened up and softened some of the social distancing. So I think all that stuff combined probably is why you're seeing a spike. I'm no expert, and I certainly would not encourage you to go by what I say, but I think the spike in cases has something to do with that. You're going to see a lot of restaurants, including even here in town. Al's comes to mind with their picnic tables outside now. We have Amy Dupre-Willette. How you doing? She's watching. We have George Dumont. Good morning, George. Chaz Pelletier, my boss, is on, and Shane Duras, one of the most active, quite frankly, cool guys I know. Quick shout out to Shane and Too Far North Fitness. They are now back up and running. They've been running all along. They've been doing in-home workouts for their clients, but now doing it outside, I believe. Right outside, I saw a trainer, Miss Leslie Marquis, a former guest here, leading some troops. I think it was 5 a.m. I was not there. I was sleeping yesterday. So Too Far North Fitness, just a great organization, a great asset to our community, and they're doing it. And now is the time to get active and get ready for the 4th of July. You got a month, folks. So where was I? So outdoor, this is pretty cool. Let me show you. You're going to start seeing more of this. What's happening is restaurants, they're able to open if they so choose. You got to worry about, obviously, you need to worry about your safety and of course your staff. Is it feasible? Is it financially makes sense to reopen? But what some people are doing, and I'm going to share just off the Bangor Daily. Can we share? What they've done down there is they're going to close some streets to traffic so they can open it up for restaurants. And here we go. My apologies. Sometimes I have trouble walking and chewing gum. How these main cities plan to save summer. So there's some good stuff here. But what caught my eye here is the closing of traffic. So here's a map, and you'll see the highlighted red roads are going to be shut down. This is the traditional. Some of you have been here stumbling through the streets. This is the old port, and you'll see the red is where they're going to close down this for traffic. You know, the cobblestone streets down there, and that will enable curbside restaurants and even I think you're going to see this with some of the stores, you know, crafts, and almost like a farmer's market type setup where there's pop-up tents. And but it's, you know, hey, they're going to have to get creative, and I would encourage all of you, especially right here in the valley, to support local business, because it's no joke what they've gone through. They've had to shut down. I'm trying to do takeout. I think I got a great gift from Jason and Leanne Bennett, also parents of Cole graduating. They got me a gift certificate to Walkers. Thank you. You guys rock. So I'm going to continue to support local business when I can. And I love myself some Walkers takeout. The stuff they make in that kitchen is nothing less than incredible. So I just thought I'd share that with you. Looks like in the waiting room we have Murph already. We're about 8 minutes away, but we could pull him in. Let me just cover a few more items here. So we talked about outdoor dining. Something really, really significant to myself and Murph, we could talk to Murph about this, is there's an article on how the MPA, the Maine Principals Association, and athletic directors, rec directors, and just people in sports are going to follow the National Federation High School blueprint, the NFHS blueprint for returning to sports and physical activity. And that is a 3-phase program. So that article is out, and we got that as ADs, last week. That was introduced to us, and I've sent that out to some local officials who have a direct impact, and it's many. Murph is included in there. He's retired, so he didn't get it, but we can talk to him on how we're going to do this. And let's end always with a positive. You know, I had a basketball coach in college. He would come into the halftime locker room. He'd start with a negative. Like, Eric, you stink right now. No, he never singled players out, but he'd be like, fellas, you're not playing well. And he'd give us 2 or 3 things, but then he'd always end with positive, which is great. The positive is campgrounds are open starting tomorrow. So in advance of the original June 1st opening, we're going to open up tomorrow. So I know a lot of people are excited to get to their campgrounds, whether it be just to visit for a day or two or to be stationed there for the summer. That is exciting. We are 5 minutes out from bringing in Coach Murph. I'm going to play a little more boomerang here for you. And I'm going to refill, you got it, my coffee. Let's share screen again. We're getting a little better. This is once again 2011 boomerang performance at the Pavilion. Just a great place. The first song was American Band, and this is What I Like About You. Dan Chassie's the lead, and we do want to get a few more members recognized, and I'll work on that. All right, great stuff there. Today's featured musical artist is none other than Boomerang. A different spelling there on that band than you would think. There's a little hyphen there, so it's Boomer, and apparently we got a hyphen and then ANG. So able to find that 2011 performance. I've seen them multiple times. The last time was, hold on a second, I got another random video coming up. The last time I believe was at Lonesome Pine Trails, where they played. And I know they've played in a lot of street festivals up here. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring in Larry Murphy. Let me see if I can figure this out. He's been waiting patiently, and he gets a little antsy. So let's see if we can bring in Coach Murph. Good morning, Coach Murph.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Coach Murph. You're on Wake Up SJV. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. You're a little too lively. You're a little too lively this early.
Well, yeah, I'm on my third cup of coffee here.
I'm on my second.
There you go.
I like that. I really like that cup. That's cool.
Yeah, I got that from the Willette family. David is one of my students, and
yeah,
got that during Teacher Appreciation Week. How you doing, Coach Murph? How you hanging in there?
I'm good. I'm looking at myself in your camera here. My eyes look awful. I don't know.
Well, you look great. You look great to us. I heard you were out. I heard you were out fishing.
Yeah, we went fishing at a pond I've been going to for 58 years. I'm afraid my one of my favorite fishing holes is drying up, kind of like me. It's been around too long. So
Well, you may have took them all out of there, Coach.
yeah, well, we've taken a few hundred fish out of there. Yeah, yeah.
I may be going out today with our varsity soccer coach, Kalusha Coates. We may be going fishing. I think he's got a couple hot spots. But you have some other spots you'd recommend? I heard the Wallagrass Stream was pretty good down there off Route 11. Is that true?
Yes, it can be. It can be. Devin Guyos caught a 20-inch salmon under that bridge before. Believe it or not. Yeah.
Well, if I got a 20-inch salmon on my line, I'd probably get pulled into the river with it. I am a bit of a rookie.
Yeah.
Coach Murph, how has COVID-19 changed your family? I know it's changed all our lives, but how have things changed for you, my friend?
Well, there's been lots of changes, but I got to tell you, being who I am and liking to greet people with hugs, the hugging, the lack of, there's not enough hugging right now, not enough hugging. I like to show my love with a big bear hug, you know? So haven't hugged my grandchildren in a long while. It's caused me to slow down. We just before the COVID-19 stuff came on, we had a kitchen project because our dishwasher gave us gallons of water over our kitchen floor one night when we woke up, and we ruined the floor and had the insurance adjuster come. So we had to redo the floor and several pieces of the cupboard. So we decided to give the kitchen an overhaul, and it was supposed to be done by Jared Ashley over our 2-week stay in Arizona. Well, that stay got cut to about 8 days because of all the COVID-19 panic. And so I came home and literally finished the project. And at times it was scary and I was nervous, but I've taught myself patience. Believe it or not, Eric, patience. I've learned how to be patient because guess what? All I had was time. So I taught myself that if I take my time, I can do about anything I want. If I research it enough and YouTube it enough and Google it enough, I can find the solution to any problem, even when it comes to redoing a kitchen. So, yeah.
Now, Coach, upon your return from Arizona, that was both you and your wife, Irene. Did both of you
quarantine?
Okay, so you self-quarantined for 14 days.
14 days, yeah, nobody. We had people like the family would leave groceries and whatnot and odds and ends. And sometimes there was gifts from people that knew that we just got back and we were quarantining, but really, really had some generous people drop off some needed supplies, you know, and things we needed, things we didn't need, but were luxuries. I think we found, not as just this family, but like as a whole, I think we found out how big people's hearts are during this. There's been some awfully nice stories about people reaching out and extending themselves and donating and volunteering time and food. And I mean, it's caused people to look at each other with a more helpful eye.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Roughly, when did you return, Coach? Were the airlines still kind of going, or was it empty when you flew back?
On one of our flights, we were on a 178 passenger plane, and there were 51 flyers. So there were 120 some seats open. So it was empty. We could sit just about anywhere we wanted. And that lately we're hearing that planes are becoming one of the more dangerous places for COVID to get passed on or contacted, you know. So we got a daughter who was planning to come here for my grandson's Cole's graduation, and she's contemplating not doing it. And I wouldn't blame her if she didn't, because she's risking, well, she could bring it to us, and we're not of an age group that can endure it, you know. You know, we're one of those being 65 and over. We're one of those groups that are susceptible to the disease. You know, the pandemic.
Correct. Yep. Yep. Yeah. It's scary stuff. Let's change gears.
Yep.
You love sports. You always have. You fed my passion. You've made me a soccer guy as well. But with no live sports of any type, what the heck have you done? What have you gravitated to as far as alternatives? Do you watch replays like me, or what have you done?
Well, I very little. I've done. I mean, I've seen some of the replays, and, you know, the legendary games and the matchups of the Lakers and the Celtics and stuff. But I haven't tuned into it. I just can't bring myself to do it. So I've actually, my wife and I have started a Scrabble tournament. Right now, I'm down one. She's got me 10-9 in Scrabble. The last time out, she beat me by 100 points. So that's been our sports activity. You know, we've been out. We still walk the dog and do our 3 to 5 miles almost daily. She sometimes does much more than that. I can't keep up. But really haven't watched. What we've been doing now is occupying our evenings with Netflix originals, watching episodes of different Netflix originals, and mostly dramas like detectives and murder and twisted stories and figuring it out, you know, stuff that challenges the mind to keep track of the characters and whatnot. So we've been
Awesome.
into Netflix as a substitute.
Sorry to interrupt you. My brother lives out in Phoenix, but anyway, he got me into a show on Netflix called Ozark. It's a series. Yeah, you've watched it?
It's one of our favorites. Have you seen season 3? Have you seen
No,
it?
no, don't ruin it for me. I'm in. I just started season 2. I'm about 3 or 4 episodes in, but it's it's a great show, folks. If you want to get into something, but it's dangerous. You want to binge watch it. I fell asleep a couple times
you talk about twisted storylines, huh? And tangles. Holy cow!
Amazing.
With it all.
Yeah, amazing. Coach, just you've got such a wonderful family and an extended family. How's everybody hanging in there? You know, you've got a grandson who's graduating. You've got another one that's going to be, I think he's going to be a junior.
Yeah.
You've got a son down in Sacapee Valley, Ben, who a lot of us know. And of course, your daughter is running a great daycare here right near me. I walk by there almost every morning. How's everybody holding up? Is everybody all right? Your brother John, of course, is finally retired from UMFK. How's everybody doing, Coach?
Well, I'll start with Ben. Ben with his triplets has pretty much been quarantined to the house anyway for 18 months. I mean, those triplets take 2 people. I mean, he's got 4. He's got the 4-year-old daughter and the 3 boys, and the boys are becoming more and more and more mobile. So that means there's more and more and more energy spent keeping up with possible injuries around the house. So like he says, nothing, his life hasn't changed much at all, except being careful when he goes out to the store or whatever. But he's been kind of, I wouldn't call it quarantine, but he's been home bound for quite a while, just keeping up with the triplets and helping his wife and whoever else wants to pitch in. Erica has, she's had her daycare has carried on. Her people have been real loyal to her. Some of the people didn't need the daycare, but didn't want to lose a spot. So they've been really generous and paid half price for the time, even though their kids were at home with them during the COVID-19 isolations or whatever, the social distancing. My daughter, Kim, is a physical therapist who contracts with the school system out in Rio Rico and the general area of where she lives. So she doesn't get paid unless she, is performing work on any of the kids. But they've done some virtual stuff there as well. Like she's contacted her patients and helped them go through exercises. So she's managed to keep an income coming. John has, since he really fully retired and threw his cell phone away so they can't find him. He's an amazing carpenter. He can really do good. He has built his house and several others when he was younger, but from start to finish, he can do the blueprint. He can order the lumber. He can wire it. He can plumb it. He can fix it. John is a talented woods person. He can work with construction and does some really nice finish work. So he hasn't. It's almost like he hasn't skipped a beat. I mean, he lives out there in up North Purley-Brook with his wife. So their life didn't change a whole lot. Because he's always been, since he got retired, a homebody and wanting to work on his different buildings and his camps down at Cross Lake. So John's life hasn't changed a whole lot, except again being careful when he goes to shop for his lumber, buy his tools or parts or whatever. So
now, Murph, is his wife still teaching?
She is.
Wow.
She loves teaching, so she's still staying at it. And John is trying to keep out of the university's hair. And
I recall she was a pretty good artist too. Is that correct?
She does. She did do some. She did dabble in some artistry, and I'm not sure where that is right now. But she has a likeness for that. You're right.
Now, is John still a Vikings fan? Because that might be an issue.
John is a Vikings fan, yeah. Longtime Vikings fan. Yeah. And I don't know where that comes from or how. Maybe it was a younger brother rivalry. He likes the Giants, so I have to pick somebody. I'm gonna go with somebody else.
Now, there must have been some battles there.
Oh yeah. We've had a couple of classic battles. Lately, he's won most of them. So.
Yeah. They are solid, and I think they're going to have another good year if we ever play football.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. It's good to hear that everybody's doing well and adjusted like many of us. It certainly has changed things. Listen, in your opinion, will everyday life ever be the same?
I think we've developed some new normals. I think there's going to be some things that carry over. I hope that I'm not sure of it, but we're probably all going to be a little more reluctant for a while anyway, if not. I mean, like I said, I like greeting people with a big hug or a handshake and a smile. And so the lack of that kind of, I've lost my coordination. Usually when I try to do that, I end up hurting somebody. I throw an elbow and I miss the elbow and I hit a nose or whatever. I'm not real smooth with that elbow thing.
No.
I've had too much luck throwing those in basketball games. So. Yeah, I just think there's going to be some. I think people have maybe learned to slow down and realize how important their families are. This has caused us to spend more time at the house or with your family. And so maybe people have come to realize they got refocused that, their busy life and their quest for their job and their responsibilities for their job isn't quite as important as realizing their families may not always be there. So let's pay more attention while they are, I think it's helped us all slow down and reflect on what's really important in our lives.
That's a great point, especially with two parents that are involved in busy careers. I have seen that and heard a lot about how families have become a lot closer. So that's huge.
Yeah.
Murph, we got some direction, and this will be interesting for you. If you have not read this yet, hop on the Bangor Daily News. But we have some direction from the National Federation of High School and the NPA and myself as an athletic administrator and yourself as a former one at the high school and middle school and college level. But we have some direction, I guess, to move forward. But it's going to be strange. It's not going to be anything live until July 6th. And it's kind of a 3-phase thing. But even then, for example, we could be doing a soccer drill, passing the ball back and forth. And, I got to check the temperature of those 5 players and then wash the soccer ball. And it's just going to be real.
Oh, moly.
Yeah, it's going to be gradual. And it's going to be regional. Up here, whether we're not being tested enough or it's just, not as bad in rural areas, but we still need to be safe. You're probably going to see a middle official with a mask on if and when we're cleared to play. So we're all trying to wrap our heads around that. But there is some direction, at least, and we all have to err on the side of caution, I guess.
Yeah.
But you're like me, we want to see, Colin out there shooting hoops again and playing 3-on-3 and getting on the soccer field. But we're going to have to be slow on this. So what are your thoughts on getting back into some sort of competition? And when we can't, what would you recommend a young athlete to do? I mean, should they, because IQ is so big in sports and team sports, would you recommend reading? Would you recommend watching film? How can kids, at least drill this into their minds?
Well, there's so much available in the way of instructional video right now. I mean, I think the company PGC is sending out videos on individual workouts and shooting drills, ball handling drills. I know it's hard for the hardest person to discipline and to drive is yourself. I mean, as a coach, I could get kids to do things and drive them to condition and push them to the limit physically, but the last person you can make do those things is yourself, because somehow you always find a reason why you can get out of it, so what I guess my point being is, even though those things are available, and I'm trying to push those on Colin to get some sort of daily workout that involves either agility improvement, ball handling improvement. The courts now have just bared out. The Suns helped us out and finally got the courts bared out, but it took a long while for that even, but it's hard for kids to work out individually like that, but it takes a strong commitment. But I think right now I've always said that the off season is when you improve yourself, and the in season is when you help your team improve, or help your team succeed. In the off season, you've got to do some things individually to help you be more successful when it comes to your team's needs. But that's not always the intestinal fortitude to stay loyal to a three times a week workout of an hour for ball handling skills or agility drills or strength and conditioning routines. It's a challenge individually. Kids are kids, and they thrive off each other's needs. They help each other. They're teenagers are social. They're growing. They're inquisitive. They're, if the team gets together and does it, or like you say, some 3-on-3s going on, that's, but right now I think somehow I'm hoping, I've been trying to do this with Colin, is get him to check out these individual workout things. And there are some things that he needs in particular. He needs the agility workouts. He needs the core strengthening exercises. The other thing is, and this is really, you're talking about IQ for sports, is wouldn't be bad. I think it's a good idea for kids to listen to coaches' philosophies. Like, we as coaches research, how does he run the 1-3-1? And he's famous for his diamond press. And this motion offense that this guy runs. Look at this transition game that this guy has developed. I think it'd be good for them, like us reading a book, to research all the different ideas that coaches have, so that when they come back to the gymnasiums and the fields, they've got an understanding a better understanding what their coach is trying to accomplish and his challenges. Like when they see these coaches that are trying to teach coaches, as players, you go, okay, coach is on the right track here. Coach knows what he's talking about. So the IQ is important, and maybe researching films that promote the coaches are trying to do to improve themselves, promote success for themselves. Kids doing that gives them a better insight.
Awesome stuff. And at that age, you reflect back, and it's so hard as a 17, 18-year-old to think about that. But I guess it's our job to give it to them. Murph, you've been involved and witnessed either firsthand or as a fan so many great moments here in Aroostook County. Next year is the 50th anniversary of athletics, I guess, with the MPA. So we're doing a big thing statewide, and they've asked me what is and this is tough, okay? And I asked Rennie Kluge yesterday, but they asked me what's the single most, I guess, significant, or they want me to send a picture that I guess signifies Fort Kent Community High School athletics. And that's tough for me. But, a team that you were a member of in a moment came up with Rennie Kluge. He mentioned the Thurston half-court shot as one of the most memorable moments in sports.
Yeah.
But what comes to mind, Murph, over the last 50 years, if you could snapshot something that happened within Fort Kent Warrior athletics, what just comes to your mind if I asked you that?
Wow, I saw that question in your prompting, and I guess I don't know about any one thing, Eric. I guess what I would say has been very prideful is no matter what class we've played at, whether it was we're almost A at time, we were A way back in the day, then we're B, and now we're C. I think that Fort Kent's greatest accomplishment has been how well we're probably the best 3-sport athletic school in the county. We are our skiing, cross country, downhill, our boys soccer, our girls soccer excels, our basketballs excelled. Tracy's got the baseball team in divisional playoffs and state championships, and
wrestling now. It's a good point. I thought, Murph, maybe just a collage. I couldn't send. I've only been here just over 20 years. And I have a great picture in my office. It's now in the weight room of boys soccer getting the first gold ball in 2010.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I don't think I could put any one thing. I thought maybe use the old Warrior logo and just put that out there. But I don't know. That's tough. You've been here longer than me. But I agree. Our 3-sport versatility, I think, makes us special. You don't see that. You don't see that down in Portland anymore.
No.
Yeah. So maybe a collage, but I don't want to disrespect any one era or any. So that's going to be tough.
Because if we had one team that was a state champion, but we've had several soccer teams and several ski teams, boys and girls, both sides, and we played in state games, even if we didn't win them. I just feel like our athletes have excelled and represented themselves well in all 3 sports. And I know around the county, we're known as the best 3-sport. I hear other coaches talk about our 3-sport athletes. Kids go off to school and you say, well, which sport are you going to play? You're going to play baseball? You're going to play basketball? You're going to play soccer? Eden Parody. Yeah. He excelled in all 3 of them. But he loves baseball. So he's in college, he's going to focus on baseball. And he's just a one example. There's been a bunch like that.
And even Murph, my father-in-law comes to mind. Back in the early 70s, even when the school was, almost 1,000 students, it seemed like it was still like that. He played soccer. Glenn Lamar played soccer, basketball, and baseball, and he was high academic. So I don't even think it's just because enrollment has went down. I think that's always been the case in Fort Kent. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, Glenn, and you're right, Glenn. I mean, Glenn wasn't just a soccer player. Glenn played in state championships as a soccer player. As a basketball player, he went to the tournament with Tommy. As a baseball player, I played against him. I think he was a freshman, and he pitched in the state. No, I'm sorry, in the Northern Maine regional final back then. That was a year before it went to state competition. Like there was a state champion. It was only regional ball back then. So, and I think that's because the MPA got the heel point thing going right after that. Because I've been in Fort Kent for 48 years. And so if it's a 50-year reunion, I only missed it by 2 being here for the whole trip.
Yeah.
But no, Glenn is a great example of that, because then he went on to college and played baseball. It was outstanding in college and baseball, coming from Little Fort Kent, and he's just one of many stories like that. I mean, I guess our pride is in our work ethic and our versatility as players. Our kids give whatever sport they're playing at that time all they got, and we've got some talented people.
Yeah, I think the mascot fits that. We are truly warriors up here. Murph, we're approaching the 8 a.m. hour here, and I know you're a busy man. I got a couple things for you, though, before I let you go. We have been featuring local musical artists. Do you have a go-to local band or artist or you and Irene, who do you enjoy? Anybody you could recommend that we have not covered here? I'll go through it.
I get a real kick out of Tiger Martin. I think he does some good stuff when he does his. He plays about anything going, And,
yeah, we featured him yesterday. He's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun, and I'm drawing blanks on the names of French Toast. French Toast is always enjoyable, but not much for the live bands anymore. I'm on classic rock radio and Sirius satellite, So
same here. Same here.
The grandchildren get a little tired of that classic rock when they go out hunting birds, but every once in a while I'll make them listen to a reggae that's reggae or whatever, just to aggravate them. Yeah. No, I guess Tiger Martin. I've seen him a couple of times. I'm just amazed at everything he plays. He taught himself to do.
Amazing.
I don't think he's taken a lesson from anybody about anything. I don't know if anybody could teach Tiger straight up. He'd have to be in control of how that all went down.
Correct. Yeah, it's awesome stuff. Listen, Murph, I want to personally thank you for everything you've done for me and this community. You're nothing short of a pillar of our community, and absolutely love your family, and glad to hear you guys are all doing well. Let's keep going forward here, and thanks for joining us today.
Listen, thank you very much. I appreciate that. That was very kind.